Anyways, hi guys. This is a different format. I wanted to stream today and also thought it would be a good idea to, just talk about some podcast stuff because there's a bunch of stuff that you can just talk about. And yeah, you can talk about it for like 3 minutes, but what's the point of making a video or a podcast about something that's only 3 minutes long? So we'll try something out. Also, it's Monday, so it seems like a good day to do some news, talk about stuff like that. First things first, something that came up a couple days ago, I guess. On January 25th, not that long ago, sometime last week, we have 21 Savage being named Complex's best rapper of 2022. Now, when I saw that, I'm sure just like everyone else watching or listening to this, you said, no, what the how dare you? Complex is just lying to us, and they are the worst publication in the world. But then I actually read the reasoning for it. 21 Savage being named Complex's best rapper of 2022. The video viewers of you who want to actually read it can see it here. The reason for him winning this MVP award is because of his consistent output. Get out of here, Complex. No one wants your notifications. Improvement and evolution of his cadence and wordplay with every verse. Now, I'm not a 21 Savage fan by any means. I don't really listen to his music. I don't really go out of my way to say, yes, let me listen to Mr. Savage. Let me see what that knife do. I don't care most of the time. But I'm never upset when he's on a feature because he always does okay. And, it's actually interesting because, in this article, they mention how he's kind of started his last year, 2022, off with a feature on Jid's album, or Jid's song Surround Sound, which eventually got to his album. And, as you can see here, he was also on Gunna's track, and then obviously all over Drake. He was all over Drake. He showed up on CLB, which 2021 technically, but then also he showed up on, what was it? Honestly, Nevermind on what the hell was that song's name? Jimmy Cooks. And then he was also on Her Loss. Well, Her Loss was a collab album, and it was just interesting seeing that he's everywhere. And through this whole article, I'll also link it in descriptions and all that. He seems very humble about it. Like he doesn't think that he's that great. In fact, he actually, like, later on they talk about others such as J. Cole, well, who his peers are, right? Like right here. So who do you see as your immediate peers or competition, and how do you stack up to other major artists? And he thinks his peers are people like Baby, Young Thug, Travis Scott, Lil Durk, Nutty, like, people. He did do that feature with Nas, which it did sound, it sounded like a 21 Savage verse on a Nas song. But anyways, he goes on to say that, like, these are his peers, which, you would expect him, if he's being nominated or being called the best rapper of 2022, that, maybe he's going to be thinking that he's up there with Drake and them. Because, you do a collab project with Drake, you think you're going to be hot shit, right? What was it? Future did that whole tape with Drake. Well, a couple tapes. And, just to do a collab album, generally you would think that the artists are on a similar level. I guess in terms of popularity, they may be similar at this moment, but he doesn't really think so because, as you may have read further, it says, would you consider artists that you work with heavily like J. Cole and Drake your peers as well? Now, first of all, he's done like 2 songs with J. Cole, so I don't know why they said heavily. Yes, they just wanted someone who wasn't Drake to be included on that that comparison, I guess. But he's like, nah, very definitely no, because, at 21, we've talked about it on OK We're Live, twitch.tv/OKWeReLive. But people, like, there's a lot of rappers and artists out there that will just put out a project and then disappear. And eventually, whenever they do come back, they're going to have a huge fan base still. But people like 21 Savage, while they have a pretty big fan base and they have popularity, they don't really have that luxury to disappear and, just be like, nah, I'm gonna go do something else. Yeah, like he's humble and very aware of his place in hip hop. Like, he's not gonna try to say that he's like one of the best selling artists, I suppose. I thought it was also very interesting that they didn't mention Kendrick, but when I first read it, but I don't read good, so I didn't see that it just was talking about people that he collabed with or worked with. The other thing throughout this interview, I mean, it's a little bit of a departure from just, them calling him 21 or what was it called? Rapper of 2022, was that later on he's mentioned his writing process. I don't remember where exactly it is. Somewhere in here. We'll just leave this picture 21 Savage up for now, though. He basically said, like, in the past, like songs like Bank Account, which, pretty big song, he would spend, he would just keep listening to that song over and over again and just to make sure, it would be a good song. But by the time that album came out, he kind of thought that it was bad and almost didn't put it on the album. But then when people heard it, they're like, oh no, this is a good song, or they liked it. So it was interesting that he said that. But now he's kind of switched it from, listening to it all the time to just listening to it once when he records it. And then he just kind of throws it out there. It's like, if it sounds good when he records it, he's going to rock with it. If it doesn't, then, he's either going to work on it some more or just toss it. And, as he's worked with Drake, he's kind of carried that same idea. He said with Drake's project, what he would do is record a verse and listen to it as he would normally. He would then send it out to Drake, and then when he got it back, he would listen to the completed track, and then just be done with it. And again, if it sounded cool to both of them, it got put out. I mean, I understand both sides of it. It's like, for me, yeah, don't listen to it to the point where you're just tired of it, because, that's going to happen no matter what. That's going to happen to pretty much every song you put out, everything you do. But, if you listen to it once or a couple times, I guess, and you feel like it's pretty good, you can just keep it pushing. I think that was the majority of what I wanted to pull from this. The other thing that I thought was actually kind of funny was up here, I think. Yeah, when him and Drake were talking about, before they talked about putting the collab together, he was like, I didn't want to look like a thirsty ass young rapper who was like, Drake, let's do a mixtape, because that's just kind of silly. And then I don't remember where exactly this quote was in the context of the interview, but that makes sense. I mean, he seems like a pretty down to earth guy. J. Cole said something about that too, so I'm glad to see that it's not just people saying shit. But regardless, I still didn't listen to Her Loss that much. I listened to it one time. I didn't really care for it. I mean, as expected, I'm not really a Drake or 21 Savage fan. That's not my cup of tea, but it was still, people liked it. I appreciated it for what it was. It sounded like they were both having fun on it, and they wanted to just, like I said, just have fun with it. They didn't want to go out of their way to be like, oh yes, this is going to be one of the best albums. They're not just rapping their asses off. And actually now, like, I know I went from the webpage to single camera, but there was another part here right when he's talking about the writing process, how when both of them heard it in the club, it just clicked and like, oh no, well, damn, this shit hard as fuck. I don't know I don't know that I believe that he hasn't heard a project like this in a long time. That's sure, whatever. And it was definitely an album. Now, again, people really seem to like that project, and a lot of people I've seen did put it on their a lot of people put it on their top 10 list. And it depends on where you are, I guess, but again, not for me. Um moving on to the next topic, I suppose. But I mean, just random announcements first, I guess. Slow Tie announced his third album's release date. It's going to be March 3rd. It's titled Ugly. And from the track that's out, I don't know what to expect. I actually forgot the name of the track that was out, or that came out, but we listened to it last Wednesday on stream. Unfortunately, there's no VODs set up because, yeah, I think it was Selfish. It was a very different, but I mean, I think we've kind of expected this transition for Slow Tie, especially based off of Tyrant, how it felt more self-aware, I guess, and more experimental. So, I mean, I'm definitely interested to see how it sounds or hear how it sounds. I don't see sounds, but yeah, Tyrant was one of my favorite albums of that year, so I have high hopes. Yeah, very, very experimental, very UK for sure. The other music announcement that I saw that like just maybe an hour or so before I started getting ready for stream was that Boz announced his next album. It's going to be titled, well, I assume it's going to be titled, We Only Talk About Real Shit When We Are Fucked Up. I'm going to pull up that, let's see. I'll try to pull up that out, or the cover for it. Will it let me know? Damn it, Instagram. I don't want to log in right now. But I don't know what to expect from it because I didn't listen to the single that came out, and I think it came out last week. I'm not gonna listen to it right now just because copyright and such. But maybe afterwards, maybe after I stop recording, I'll put something up. We only talk about real shit when we are fucked up. Sure, let's. Oh, okay. It just sent me to Twitter, and there we go. That's what we get. It's more of a poster, I suppose. But Boz, like, I always feel like he tries to make things sound. Get out of here! Stop asking for notifications. I don't know. Like sometimes his promotions make it sound very like edgy and dark, but whenever we listen to his music, it's very, or it's more upbeat, I suppose. I don't know what this album's going to sound like. Again, I didn't listen to that last song, but I'm definitely excited. It would look really nice on the back of a hoodie, but you got to be very careful with it. Otherwise, it'll get messed up. Oh, man. Now, the other thing that happened recently, which was pretty cool. Oh, God, you're the reason that there was a notification noise. But anyways, the other thing that came out recently was that Lil Yachty album. And oh boy, it was different. It was not what I expected, and it was not what anyone else expected, but I was here for it. Again, it's not something like in my what's it called video for it. In my, I guess, early impressions reaction video thing for it, I basically said it wasn't like my cup of tea. I'll listen to it, but not something I'm going to go out of my way to be like, yes, I need to listen to this every day, all the time. But that's just me. I don't listen to that sort of music because I don't know. I just don't. The cover does, yeah. The cover is very uncomfortable, I guess. And I think that's kind of the point, because in the promo video, it made it sound like he's kind of going through it. And then even in the video for Say Something, it was just a fucking trip. I said in the video that I put out also that I don't know if he was trying to make it a concept album or if he's just trying something new. I think it's a little bit of both, because it's there has to be a concept to it just based off of the track listing. Like there's random sun bits and vision, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of people enjoyed it, but I think there's also a lot of people who are like, oh, you guys are only liking it because he's doing something different, which is kind of shitty, because you have all these, like, it's almost like you don't want artists to experiment, I guess, or maybe people are just gatekeeping the artist. It's like, oh, I've been a Yachty fan forever. I like everything he puts out, which first of all, just stop lying. I don't know why you're selling that or saying that. Like, most people are not going to defend Lil Yachty, to be completely honest. I mean, this is the person who said he didn't even he didn't even listen to Biggie or Pac or something like that. Like, he doesn't, he's not necessarily just this full-on rapper. And I think we've kind of known that. And what I do appreciate about this project is that it allows us to be like, oh no, artists can do other things. They can go outside of their own box. They can do whatever they want to do. Like, they don't have to just stick to, what they're known for. So, I mean, I applaud him for that. Like, that's impressive in its own right. Like, I don't know how many people would be comfortable with doing something like this. I mean, obviously we have people like Tyler who just puts out a different project every time he drops. But the only other example that I had was Gambino when he put out Awaken My Love, which was entirely different from Because of the Internet. No, those are not titles for CLB. But anyways, I don't know. I'm still not sure. I'm gonna go back and listen to it at some point and get some idea of what's happening in this project. But it's definitely engaging from a just straight up musical standpoint. Like, when he said it was gonna be live instrumentation, he wasn't lying at all. Everything's just instruments. So it's definitely good in that sense. Now, moving on to the next topic, because that's what I got. I got a bunch of random topics. The IDK hoodie? Hell yeah. The next topic, which I feel like honestly would probably be a better conversation for the Okay We're Live stream, but I at least want to address it because I saw it earlier today. Is oh god, I hate. Can I just say it? Some people don't know how to make websites. Oh god, why is it? Okay, here. So this is what we're gonna do. This is at 100% zoom. Why is Zaytoven so stretched out? And then as I zoom in, he gets fixed. This is definitely a mobile first site. So God. Anyways, as you can see, Zaytoven sells his music catalog, including some of his major songs from the Migos, 21 Savage, and Lil Wayne. This has been a trend that a lot of people have been doing, and I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I don't think this article actually says how much he sold it for. Yeah, no, it just says that he sold it. But it is interesting because we've seen a few other people do this. I don't remember off the top of my head now, but it's been a trend, and it's like, on one hand, yeah, get your money, because then you can, like, if you sold it for a lot, like, sure, yeah, totally fine, like, get your money. But if you feel like that price is gonna that price that you sold it for has to outweigh like your your profits off of the music, like just from streaming and what's it called? Just having it played everywhere, essentially. I'm drawing a blank on the proper terms now, but it's like, yeah, like if he sold it for a lot of money, sure, but I don't know. Zaytoven, I guess if you think about it too, because I think what the article said is that this is including music from 2005 to 2022. This was a very specific sound period, I guess. And maybe he's going on to something else entirely and he wants to have a different sound going forward. And if he is going with a different sound next, maybe he's like, oh, I don't need this. Like this, like maybe he's seen the trend of these streams go down. Like, I mean, when was the last time you listened to a song from 2005 that was made by Zaytoven? Like, I don't know. Like, he sold it to a publishing company. So the company they sold it to was Ultra International Music Publishing, which sounds fake. That doesn't sound like a real place. And, now I'm actually curious. Let's see. Oh, no, it's MPA. I'm dumb. It's just the way that looks so fucking fake. Yeah, no, it doesn't look right. No, that's exactly what I think it was. I think it was that he saw the value of his music going down as time went on. And I mean, that's not surprising because while hip hop is, well, I mean, he doesn't only produce hip hop, but while hip hop and rap is currently the most popular genre, like it is straight up pop music, it may not be that way forever. I mean, I don't think it will be. And there's a good chance that it's already been going downhill, like, and he's seen it. Like I said, I don't remember the last time I listened to a song from 2005 that was produced by Zaytoven. I mean, again, I don't know who produced every song ever, but, you can usually kind of tell, especially, like, I think early Zaytoven was mostly Gucci Mane, or a lot of Gucci Mane, and I don't listen to Gucci like that. So, it's interesting. Let's see. Patrick Moxie. That's a wild name. Yep, he's father of trap. That's kind of the thing. And I think he's also seen that trap music has been on a decline in general. Between rappers getting killed and just people saying like, no, I don't want to rap about this stuff anymore. Like maybe that's what he's kind of going off of. He did. That's not how you. That's a typo, but 3,500. But yeah, it's interesting for sure. A lot of people are angry about it though, and there's only one comment. And ooh boy. Welp. We'll just go right back to the top. I'm not opening that link. But, point of it is it opens up a discussion of when is it time to let go of your music catalog. Like, is it whenever you feel like, oh, my catalog has reached its limit? It's reached maturity, I guess. Is it like a stock, or is it like it's an investment, I guess? So it's like when is the right time to sell? And again, the idea of owning your catalog is always a great feeling, but if no one's listening to it, it's just sitting there, I guess. Especially if you want to build generational wealth, like you want to have some money. Moving on. I think that's pretty much all I've got to say about that. It was just an interesting thing that I saw. The only other thing that I wanted to bring up, which I haven't honestly read into too much, I really just read the headline and I kind of left it at that. Oh god, this also is a very interestingly formatted website. Run-DMC is over. I mean, so essentially what this is about is Run-DMC has announced their final show at Madison Square Garden. I actually don't know what or when it is. I'll be able to pull it up in a second, though. And they're also announcing a documentary to celebrate their 40th anniversary. This is obviously on the Rock the Bells page, which makes sense. Rock the Bells is very for the culture, and Run-DMC being one of the earlier groups in hip hop are definitely a staple. The person that wrote this really wanted to impress their high school English teacher. Sorry, that's bullying. Anyways, basically, they are not doing anything else. Which, I mean, when was the last time Run-DMC had put out an album or performed? I guess. I don't know, but here, let's see. There's so much jumping around in this article. I feel like, why are there so many? I used to write a lot, so formatting bothers me. What is this paragraph? Why is this paragraph a paragraph and then this is not the same? Okay. Anyways, I'm really just trying to get important information, and to be fair, I should have fully read the article before I started talking about it. But now it's a journey that we're all going to go on. The final show that we're ever going to do is going to be at Madison Square Garden in April. It's going to be the last episode of the documentary we're doing, Run-DMC's last show ever, because it's time for Run to go be Paul McCartney and for me to be John Lennon. We done what we could do. Yeah, sure. I mean, again, like, they haven't really been together as a group. I mean, they've never officially broken up, but they haven't really put much out. I mean, Rev Run had his show for a while, and DMC does comics, which is cool. Like, I'm totally for it. It's just, I don't think their main focus has been music in a while. So, I mean, why not? Why not go out with a bang? Doesn't hurt. Yeah, like, I really don't have a whole lot to say about this. I thought there was going to be more that I could just kind of pull just by scanning, but something about this, I don't like this article. I'm sorry. But shout out to them. Shout out to them for going out on a high note. Adidas is not going to get a boost. They need it. Oh yeah, okay. Yep, this is definitely a mobile page. Now I can read. I got bad eyes. I don't know why I keep everything so small. All right, that's mostly what I got here. Listen, most people view articles and all that stuff on their phones, so I understand why web pages look like this. However, having the first 4 paragraphs be like that is kind of a turnoff. The rest of it, yeah, sure, it's formatted just fine. But anyways, Jam Master J. David, yeah, sure. It's interesting. So it's like they're saying that, they're saying that they don't want to just keep, acting like they're a group, even though they're not a group, and they want to do their own thing. But I don't think anyone officially ever was like, no, the brand's broken up or whatever. You telling me a country fried the steak? But that is a good send off show. Here it is. We're doing that movie idea. You'll see Ice-T come out and do a song with us. You'll see Wu-Tang come and do a song with us. Anyone can buy a ticket to that song. We're gonna do it with Netflix or to the highest bidder. It's gonna be a live production. Who wants to pay $100 million to own it? Shit. I'm sure someone will pay that much. I hope they do. The Defiant Ones, okay, yeah, sure. Sure, I'm totally for it. Like, I'm curious. I also like that this was included here. This, hip hop turning 50 this year. Like, yes, that's kind of cool. Like, it's an interesting coincidence that they're 40 years old or 40 years in the game and hip hop's 50 years old. It's almost like Rock the Bells might have something going on with Hip Hop 50. No, I don't think they do. I think if anything, Mass Appeal has more going on with that. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Now with all that out of the way, I don't know what else I got. I can pull up the internet real quick. I mean, the internet's always been up, I suppose. Logic. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's mean and uncalled for. I keep doing that though. I can't help myself. I think I can leave it there. I think I don't have much else to really get into in terms of hip hop specific stuff. This was mostly a test run to make sure that I can have something pulled up and talk about things and not have to worry about hitting record on my camera. Because as far as the recording's going, it's been about half an hour. Ice Spice, I didn't listen to that Ice Spice album, but I have heard it's very interesting. There's been, I'm not going to go out of my way to listen to it unless I really, really want to. There's a whole lot of other things that dropped that I didn't listen to. Did Marlon Craft drop? Oh, he just dropped a song. Okay, I'm just dumb. I sorted the wrong way. There were some other albums that I've been meaning to listen to that came out last week, but just didn't get the time to or get around to it. I ended up just listening to a bunch of throwbacks, really. I just keep throwing on the throwback station on Tidal. Mac Maze is great. I don't think Mac Maze is gonna hit me with a copyright strike. Hey, D Sharp, please don't hit me with a copyright strike for anything MacArthur Maze based. That'd be totally uncool. Here, let's do shout out MacArthur Maze. They should be performing. Yeah, they're performing next Friday. Or no, this Friday, my bad. They're performing this Friday at the New Parish with Yuckmouth, which is a name I haven't heard in years, but I'm totally here for it. They're doing good things. Ian Kelly's got a feature coming out. I think it's actually out right now. But yeah, that was a Twitch stream podcast thing. I will now stop the recording, but make sure you check out twitch.tv/bar4bar podcast to see what we do afterwards. Bye-bye.